Hi, I'm Aaron J. Marks of aaronjmarks.com and commercetheory.com. Welcome to my podcast, A Higher Level, where everything we think, see, and do happens on a higher level. For as long as I can remember, I felt like my mind has worked just a little differently than most others. For my entire life, I've been studying, observing, and contemplating this incomparably strange and wonderful phenomenon called human existence, and trying to figure out what it's all about. People say the way of thinking and theorizing that comes from this offers an unusually high and rich level of insight, clarity, freedom, inspiration, and effortless creativity. And that's ultimately what a higher level is all about. The insight to understand how life works, the clarity to see where to go next, the freedom to go there, the inspiration to find joy and wonder along the journey, and the creativity to honor your particular brand of human genius. In this podcast, I'm going to break down and describe the concepts that come from my theories so that you can see into the fabric of the life you're living with greater depth and precision, and use that understanding to improve your results in every way that's meaningful to you. It's the only life you get, and the only chance you have to make a difference here. If there's one thing I know, it's that all lives can improve, and that the human race is just one big collective results improving system. Ready to find your place here? Fabulous. Let's get into the topic for this episode of A Higher Level. I'll see you again afterward and talk more about what it looks like to work with me. Until then, let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of A Higher Level, where everything we think, see, and do happens on a higher level. My name is Aaron of aaronjmarks.com, and I'm proceeding through the first series of season 2, which is about the 9 facets of my work, and these are all the different ways that I describe the work that I do with clients. Which all of which add up and make me hard to categorize. Really is the long and short of it. And people tell me that I do seem categorically different than most coaches they encounter. So it is a perpetual challenge for me to describe what that is and what benefit people get from working with me. So the second one, the second facet of my work is I'm an inspirational polymathic intellectual and thought leader. And I think of all of them, this is the one that seems the most presumptuous as a label to apply to myself. To call oneself a polymath, that's yeah, just it feels presumptuous, but I think it's true. And there are certainly people who are more intelligent than me. There are certainly people who have a broader knowledge base than me. There are certainly people who have a greater depth of knowledge in a broader array of areas than me. But I do notice that this is part of what makes my work effective, is that I have at least, a basic grasp on many different disciplines, and at least a solid understanding of what they're there to do, of they why they exist within human thinking. And so the way I describe this is I see over and around the silos that exist between ideas and show how they're actually all solving the same problem. So if you think about human intellect, like compared to another species, for example. So think about cows out there in the field. Do they have thinking? They have cognition, yes, but thinking, I don't know. It's something I would have to look into. It's like, what is the nature of the thinking of animals? Um, I don't know, but with humans, we know we do think, and we think comprehensively and we think systematically. And we think in these specialized ways. When humans started to solve the problems of life and started to ask, what does it mean to live better? And what does it mean to utilize strengths and gifts that appear to be different from person to person in a way that you don't tend to see with other creatures? Um, and we get these specialties and these disciplines popping up. Why did we do that in the first place? Well, we must have had a collective sense that our life would improve collectively if we brought our strengths and talents to bear on specialized problems. And indeed, that's what we found. And that continues to broaden and deepen, right? So there's more and more specialties as we first of all, discover more facets of the world, and second of all, create more disciplines. And the more disciplines you break the world down into and, create like a profession around, the more specialized and the deeper any given person is going to go into their particular discipline, right? So, but I think to me, um, it's very important not to lose sight of the original impulse that drove that specialization in the first place, which is to increase the valuation of human life in a way that no other creature is capable of. And so when when you keep that vision and when you say, well, yeah, you're specializing to solve a particular problem, but it's actually to solve a more general problem, which is how do we continue to improve and um, increase the valuation of human life in general. That grants you a perspective to see really what all professions are doing and what they all have in common. And the vision of that commonality allows you to see resonances in your work that you would otherwise miss and ways to improve your work that you would otherwise miss because you're stuck in your silo and you your brain can get stuck there and not seeing the bigger picture. So that's the value of what I bring in this department. Leading people's thoughts, showing them the universal nature to all of human interaction and human socialization and human exchange, and saying, yeah, you may be in the plumbing industry, you may be in the education industry, you may be in the financial services industry, you may be in the government, right? But don't forget why we're all doing the work that we do. It's to improve human life, and that's all essentially done in the same way. And it's to improve the valuation of the experience of being human. So don't lose sight of that because everyone has a part to play there. And that's the vision I bring as an inspirational, polymathic, and intellectual and thought leader. And I do find it's inspiring. Like this broadening of perspective does have an effect on people's spirits. It energizes them, motivates them, it makes their thinking clearer, and that's a really fun experience. It's a really fun thing to witness. So, second facet of my work, an inspirational, polymathic, intellectual, and thought leader. Thanks so much for joining me on another episode of A Higher Level. I will see you in the next installment of this series about the 9 facets of my work. See you then. Thanks for joining me on A Higher Level. If I've done my job right, you're seeing, thinking, and acting differently, with more clarity, more decisiveness, more intention, more success. The current state of your life is just a set of results, and they can all be improved. Doesn't matter whether it concerns yourself, your family, your friends, your community, your workplace, your investments, your world. Behave differently, act differently, communicate differently, and your results will change, guaranteed. But how do you change your actions, behaviors, and communications? If you're unsure, give me a shout. I've helped dozens of motivated leaders and organizations like you and yours to improve their results by discerning exactly the right next step. It's something not everyone can do, and it happens to be my specialty. Sound like something you can use? Learn more about me in all my media channels, and reach out to start your own conversation and improve your life in every way. There's nothing like it. And you're worth it, because if you're not, then no one is. Thanks again for joining me at A Higher Level. I'll talk to you next time, and we'll continue to see, think, and act on a higher level. Until then.